I'm going on a quest.
Hey, how are ya?
Hello, Canada.
You like the dunk tank?
Walk over glass. Hey, rep, kiss my
We messed up. Things got out of hand. Drake's is in bad shape.
Don't take my gold away.
You wearing your rubber boots tonight?
It is the final episode of the year, and this time we're not kidding, of the Rubber Boots podcast, live from Cabot Links Golf Course on the Cabot Trail in beautiful Nova Scotia. Wanted to quickly thank Andrew Alkenbrack and Cabot Links for sponsoring the podcast and having us out here. Andrew hopefully will join us during the pod, although he's golfing right now, so we're just keeping an eye on him because we're literally on the patio of our villa overlooking the golf course. Also want to thank TaylorMade, who gave us these beautiful golf balls with the Rubber Boots podcast logo on them. And we will likely deposit many of them out here. So thanks to Nick Obrich and TaylorMade and all of our sponsors. And thanks to you for listening. Enjoy the final pod of the year. Hit it, Lester, even though you're not here.
This is JD's podcast. JD's Rubber Boots podcast. We're gonna sit and relax and tell you all sorts of stories. Talk about life and little sports. You know we're gonna play some games. And if nothing else, you know we're gonna have a laugh. We're gonna have a laugh, oh yeah. 'Cause this is the podcast.
Well, this is special. Live from Cabot Links. We are actually, as I speak right now, overlooking the first green at Cabot Links. It's our first annual Cabot Links podcast. There's a man at the back of the green. He made a nice little chip towards the green.
Not really.
He's playing by himself. That's Bump, everybody. This is our a new cast on the podcast. This is very exciting. We had our last official podcast last week. Lester was fired, and now Puffy has been fired.
Yeah.
And, well, Stoff, he can't be fired because he runs the podcast. But Bump is back. Hi, Bump.
Hey, how are you?
And
Good to be back.
also with us today, this is very exciting, Puffy was supposed to come. This is the first annual Rubber Boots podcast Cabot trip. It was going to be Puffy and Bump. Lester doesn't really golf. Stoff doesn't golf.
Why?
Stoff golfs a little bit. We're going to have to get him out. So Puffy bailed at the last second. What was your reaction to that?
That was offside.
Yeah.
He's been known to do that.
He's
though.
become unreliable.
He's very unreliable.
Is what, like, everybody loves him on the podcast.
He doesn't want to be
He's
on your
funny.
podcast that badly because every time he can't make it, I step in.
Yeah.
I do amazing, and it's the whole Wally Pitt Lou Gehrig thing all over again.
It really is.
Sports reference.
So Bump's been with me the last 3 days. Special guest replacing Puffy at the last second. Literally, I had to call him like about a week ago. Said, can you come? He's been my best buddy since grade 3.
Wow, that's a long time.
And his name is Mark Ward. Hi, Mark Ward. Welcome to the podcast.
Hello, James, and thank you for allowing me to join you on the podcast. But more importantly, thank you for being the greatest friend a guy could. I can't read this. I'm not going to read this.
Just finish it.
You're doing a great
Just,
job.
just finish
I
it.
cannot
script.
read this crap.
See, that's the kind of highbrow comedy that Mark Ward's delivered to my life since grade 3.
Puffy's gone. Am I in?
You're in.
Am I full time?
The guy's out of here.
So Mark and I met at Glen Ogilvie Public School at lunch hour, where we played a game with 2 goalies and a rubber puck. Hey, everybody, here comes Andrew, who made this entire trip happen. He left the golf course. He walked away and he jumped right over. Look, this is the perfect way to do it.
Sorry, well, you almost fell.
Are you drunk already?
I'm good.
I should have mentioned that I'm doing the podcast topless, which is also a first.
That's strip poker.
We have one more guest to get to, but we'll wait a couple of minutes because Andrew dropped by. Are you actually playing?
I'm just gonna go out. My wife is behind me here, and so I figured I'd pop up, have a quick stop
awesome.
at Villa 20, and then join up with her and move on.
So, to introduce people, Andrew, I met Andrew, I guess, 3 years ago, my first time here. You basically run this place, right? What's your official title?
General manager. So you're close to accurate.
And one of the great things, if you go to one of the other best courses in the world, which I think Cabot Links and Cabot Cliffs are, you go to Pebble Beach, you're not going to see the guy who runs Pebble Beach probably, right? Andrew's here all the time. He greets you when you get out of the car. And that's one of the many things that makes this place special. I need to entertain the people. Tell me stories. Who's come here? Are you allowed to talk about famous people that have come here besides me and Bump?
Well, there was a guy from sports once that we can't talk about.
Okay, we have to beep that out. You already mentioned it.
Stoff, beep that out.
I should mention that the other person with us today is from how should we describe it? Another network.
Another network.
Yeah. But we're contractually forbidden from naming him and having on the pod. And he's contractually forbidden from being on the pod. He wants no part of it, but because we invited him, because he's kind of a friend. So what we're going to do is we won't name him, and when he speaks, if we allow him to speak, his voice will be distorted.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, it'll be like a date.
It's a good compromise.
I think so. You want a spot?
I'm very uncomfortable.
So anyway, there.
You don't have a shirt on right now.
You don't have pants on.
I was walking into it. I came up the hill through the fescue. And,
I know. But this guy walks around shirtless all the time.
It's
Whistling.
ridiculous.
And he does yoga, and he does have, I will say, he has a good body on this podcast, we're very open about our
Manhood.
feelings.
Yeah,
He has a great body.
Yes.
He has a.
If you've seen
I have a lot of freckles.
Steve Date Night, it's the whole Steve Carell, Mark Wahlberg thing.
Exactly. Very much like that.
Put a shirt on, for the love of God.
Now, I have a lot of moles and freckles. I'm not.
You got a lot of freckles.
I posted once a shirtless shot from Turks and Caicos with my wife, and somebody said, "You look like a speckled trout." And I don't think that was a compliment. So we're gonna get back to Andrew because he's got to go play golf. Famous people besides the other network people.
oh, look, we've been lucky enough to have quite a few, and we try to treat everybody the same. So
you don't want to name names because they want to keep it on the low.
We've had a few guys from the PGA Tour, which has been fun. We've had a lot of guys from the NHL.
I know Adam Scott was out here, so I can say it because you didn't say it. He came out with his dad.
He was out here with his dad. We've got G-Mac's caddy bib hanging in the pub, as well as Graham Dillette. One guy we probably should mention, probably the most famous guy we've had here, is a gentleman. I'm not sure if you're aware of him. His name's Bob Weeks. He's actually got a plaque on the bar.
I do not know. He was going to come on this trip too,
Weeks.
but we forgot to invite him.
He's very bitter about that.
Ring a bell?
He's been giving it to you for.
Yeah.
He is, yeah.
Can I say that on the pod? Giving it to you?
Yes, I think you can. Okay. So, give me the history, entertaining history, because people listening to the podcast, they don't want well, back in 2007, we purchased the land. But how did Cabot come to be?
It was a vision. Ben Cowan-Dewar, who I'm sure all of you are aware of, and hopefully many listening are aware of, is a great pal of mine from a long time ago, and he was sat next to Rodney McDonald, who was the Premier of Nova Scotia, and it was a golf dinner in Toronto, and he was sort of regaling him with these stories of this great piece of land, former coal mine, in a down and out and frankly depressed community in Inverness, Nova Scotia, and Ben came out, and within a second he saw it. It didn't look the same as it does today, but within a second he knew that this was, it was Scotland, it was Ireland, it was some of those great links courses that he'd seen before. The only problem, Ben's a great guy, very resourceful guy. The only issue was he didn't have any cash. So, Mike.
So you came up. He said he came to you, and you provided.
So that's
him.
where I came in. Yeah, I gave him $37.50, and asked him if that could be my salary for the year.
That's funny. It's what contributed to the entire trip, the meals and everything.
Mike Kaiser always tells
It'll be beat.
Mike Kaiser always tells a great story. He told it again at when we opened Cliffs in 2016, and we had Bill Coore and Ben Crenshaw and Rod Whitman. And
Ben Crenshaw helped design Cliffs or both?
Cliffs.
Right, okay.
Yeah, so Coore Crenshaw did Cliffs. Rod Whitman, who's a great pal and just a great guy, one of the most humble guys you'll ever meet. He designed and built links essentially by himself, back in 2008 when there wasn't a lot going on. He was in a dozer sort of shaping the fairways that you can see before.
That's short for bulldozer.
That is, indeed.
Andrew's very hip with the kids with his terms.
So the Inverness Development Association back then was they sold this land to Ben for $1, and Mike loves it because as he tells the story, so that suited Ben just fine because that's all he had in his pocket was $1. So
why would they? Because they wanted it developed.
Yeah, it was their dream first, right? Before, Ben was here, we had a Nicholas design. There was a Graham Cook routing here at one point. So it was always the Inverness Development Association, the local community that were pitching this as sort of the way out, post-coal mine closure, everybody heading out west or just everybody heading away. How do you reinvent the community? Links golf on the ocean, Cape Breton, and it's great. You know, Ben's a guy that made it happen. He certainly had a lot of help, but it was his vision and Mike's vision that brought this thing to life. So
It really is. Anyone who hasn't been to Cape Breton, we have people who listen from all across the country and from the States. It's one of the most beautiful parts of Canada, and the Cabot Trail is this really unique piece that you can drive, and as you're driving along the Cabot Trail, you come to Inverness and these two beautiful golf courses, which I think Golf Digest named them the two of the top 20 in the world.
9 and 43, so 2 in the top 50, which is pretty.
Now, which is 9?
Cliffs.
You see, here's the funny thing, and I'll get your guys' opinion on this. When I first came here, Cliffs is. I don't know if you describe this to me or someone else. The Cliffs is like the supermodel. You get there and you go, oh my God, this is unbelievable. But the more I play, I think if you ask me, I think I prefer links. Mm-hmm. But it's close. But do you feel the same way?
Look, I've been staring at this thing since 2012, so we've come to know one another, pretty quickly and pretty intimately. I really like this golf course. I love everything that Rod has done. I love everything that the crew's done here. It is definitely a little bit more understated than Cliffs. It doesn't have the same sort of expansive views. The supermodel, that actually came from one of our caddies, I think. And
okay.
And look, it's
we actually had a supermodel playing behind us the other day. It was unbelievable. Your thoughts?
That is accurate. There's an accurate statement.
The best part is Mark pretended to take a picture of our other guest,
right.
And he actually went right by him and took a picture of the supermodel who was putting on the green behind. Is that your wife coming along?
That is her.
What is her name?
That is the supermodel, the lefty in blue there.
Do not whistle, guys, at her, please.
No cat calls, please.
And when we were here, Mark, was it 2 years ago? Andrew was getting married.
Yes,
right,
right.
And that's
you
her.
went to bachelor party that night.
Yeah, and that's so that's her.
She's about to hit right now, isn't she?
She's got a sweet swing.
Is she the purple or the blue?
She's in the blue. She's also our CFO.
Podcast.
And then the other two lovely ladies there represent our marketing team.
Your wife is the CFO.
She is the CFO.
Oh, so she runs the money in the family.
She is a money runner.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, as soon as let's watch this shot here. So she's hitting right now.
Podcast.
She's got about 140 in, I think.
I'm going to say $132.
$132 front pin. What's her name again?
Jen.
Here it is. Jen.
Swing is back. Almost. Yep.
Back. Oh. Oh. Yes. Oh, it's off. Well done. Well done, Jen.
We're going to call that a green reg.
You better go, I guess.
That is unbelievable.
Listen, thank you so much. Thank you for having us and being part of the podcast, our first annual Cabot Cliffs podcast. We hope to do it again at some point. This is honestly one of my favorite places in the world. Thank you for being so hospitable when you come out here.
It means a lot to have you here, fellas.
Okay,
Thanks
buddy.
so much.
Thank you.
All right. Cheers, guys.
Okay.
Andrew runs the place, and he literally walked off the golf course and joined us and was part of the first ever Topless podcast.
Maybe beverages at the pub as well. We'll have to see.
All right.
We will probably do that later on.
I'll be there.
That was special, wasn't it? Don't you think that was a special moment?
That was a special moment and very visual.
And Jen's rolled off the back. She's got about 40 feet, so we'll come. Anyway, so where were we when Andrew came to us? We were talking about Mark.
Yeah, Mark.
So Mark and I met in grade 3 at Glen Ogilvie. We played this game at recess when you played hockey with your feet on a rubber puck and 2 goalies. And Mark was very good at it. And Mark was kind of the cool kid in school, and he invited me to come down to his house. He called me one day and said, come and play. And I'm like, the cool kid's asking me to play.
Did he want to make fun of you?
I think so. I think he bullied me. And since then, we've...
Silver jacket.
What, my STP jacket?
So we had an STP, remember the oil company? And
it was a jean jacket with an STP sticker on the back.
No, it was a silver, ugly jacket that everybody made fun of.
You know what he called me? What everybody called me?
Stinky toilet paper.
They called me Stinky Toilet Paper because I had an STP jacket.
But since we did that, we just, we let bygones be bygones, and
we've been lovers now for 30-odd years. Our wives understand now. So Mark and I have been best buds since then, since grade 3, and we've competed at basically everything. If you read my first book, the Two Gretzky's book, there's an article in there about what is called Rival Eternal, about how we used to, basically, if we had 5 minutes waiting for a bus stop, we'd throw rocks at signs. We made a sport out of everything possible. We would go to mini putt and play 4 rounds of mini putt. But Mark, one of the reasons we wanted to have Mark on, because for all year long, Mark's been texting me saying, hey, I have a segment idea for your podcast. You want to explain it, Mark?
Well, it's all about before he used to be called Jamie. Everybody who grew up in Ottawa knew him as Jamie.
That's true.
And so this whole James thing, the people that grew up with him are having a hard time adjusting to calling him James.
You see, I always liked James, but my mom called me Jamie, and my friends called me Jamie, so I was Jamie. But as soon as I became a man, thank you, Leslie Grigno. No, I changed it to James. Because Jamie, I didn't think, no offense to any Jamies out there, Jamie Campbell, all fine guys, but I thought James...
No offense to the guy on your left.
I just meant on broadcasting. I think James sounds better than Jamie. Jamie Rydell is bump, by the way.
Yeah, you're right, though.
But people have to know why you changed your name from Jamie to James. The real life
The
event,
moment?
The moment that happened.
All right, let's get to that story.
So back in university, we're going to Carleton University, and we play touch football at the time. We're sponsored by a pizza joint, Pizza, in Ottawa. And
You're like my mom. You're giving too many details.
Too much details? Okay, I'll go straight to the chase. So we were night at Oliver's. We go back and get a pizza on a Wednesday night after going to Oliver's, and we walk in, order a slice.
Oliver's very popular Carleton University pub.
Thank you very much. We'll probably get free rounds.
Context is what I do.
So we walk in, and Stan, the owner, says, "Hey guys, you're not going to believe who just ordered a pizza, Sugar Ray Leonard." And we're saying, "No way, Sugar Ray Leonard. What's he doing in Ottawa?" And then we said, "Listen, can we come with you when you deliver the pizza?" And he said, "Sure." So there was just at the Chimo Inn right behind. So we walked over, and we go up the elevator, knock on the door, and the big bodyguard comes out, and he says, "Boys, want to meet Sugar Ray Leonard?" And we're like, "Yes," because this is Duthie's hero growing up. Sugar Ray Leonard was one of your heroes.
He was my guy.
So we go in, and all of a sudden we there's two big rooms there, and we go into the adjacent room, and there was Sugar Ray wearing jeans and a muscle shirt with four. How do I say that on the air without
Women of the night?
Women of the night?
Well, we don't know that. They could have been. They could have been people. They were 4 women. Let's just say that.
4 women.
4
Of
women.
the
Four
night.
Scantily clad ladies.
Scantily clad women
Of the night.
on the bed with him.
Yes.
Well, okay.
They weren't. Some of them were on the bed. Some of
Yes.
them around the bed.
Yes, that's a good point. So, anyways, so he says to us, and he came out, and he was very, very nice, and he has the big brochures of all of his colored pictures of himself, and asking if we want autographs. And he goes, "Mark, do you want an autograph?" And he goes, "To Mark, best wishes, Sugar Ray." And then he goes, "And what's your name?" And he goes, "Jamie." And Sugar Ray, the exact words that he said to him, he goes, "Jamie? What kind of a name is Jamie? That's a girl's name." And he just he started to cry. He was,
You know that
weeping.
it's that moment in The Simpsons when
Ralph
Wiggum's heart breaks in 2.
with Lisa. Yeah, Lisa.
Andrew just teed off on 2. Is that on the green? Yes, he is. Andrew's on the green on 2. That's an actually true story. He did break my heart, and maybe that is the moment that I went to James. But now you've broken Jamie's heart because he still goes by Jamie.
I know. I was always a Marvin Hagler guy.
Jamie's not a girl's name. I would say that Sugar Ray had something, cocktails. I don't know what, but I think it was more being entertaining than anything else. I don't know.
Probably.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Anyway, he was very nice. He signed some pictures
He
for
was
us and everything.
Extremely nice. Yeah.
Okay, so this is a new segment. I don't know if we can get Lester to do a song. It was called. What do you want to call it? When he was Jamie.
But before he was James, he was Jamie.
Before he was James, he was Jamie.
He fired Lester, though. So.
Yeah, Mark, you can write us a little.
I will. Can we do that for next time?
Yeah, Mark plays guitar. Do you want to do a quick one more? The baby carriage story. One of your favorites to tell strangers about me.
Well, there's a couple of stories. There's the baby carriage stories, but it was like we competed on everything growing up, and then the worst thing was what we did back in grade 8 when we faked our own death to see how many people would come to our funerals.
Well, we considered faking our own death. We talked about it. Did we actually do it?
No, I'm pretty sure we did it.
Well, how did we? Right.
Who won then?
Oh, Jamie won. I mean, my parents didn't even realize I was gone until they looked into the cupboard and there's all these Joe Louis still there.
Mark is one of the biggest junk food junkies in history. I don't know how he's alive today. He would eat Joe Louis and Cokes, right? And what else? Ruffles.
Yes.
But that's all he ate.
It's 3 of the 4 food groups.
All right.
Potatoes.
Tell a baby carriage story quickly.
Baby carriage story. That was grade 7 at Emily Carr. 7 or grade 8?
7 or 8.
7, 8 at Emily Carr Middle School. And this is when we were just starting to get, interested in girls. And,
Yes, really into the
and
ladies.
so
we
Jamie-
gather around the monkey bars
Yes.
and make sweet talk.
Sweet. And
I hope you didn't use that term.
so we were all hanging out after school, and there was this young lady mother there with her child playing on the swing set. And so Duthie was trying to impress one of the girls that he was it Alison?
Alison White, yes.
Alison White. His
Rocked my
first
world.
love. His first love. And
If you're out there in Seattle, Allison, I'm happily married, but they're still part of my heart.
so anyways, so Jamie was trying to figure out what can I do to impress Alison. And so when the lady wasn't looking, he jumped into the baby carriage. And so then the lady turned around.
It took me a long time. I didn't jump into it. I had to maneuver I was grade 8, so I was probably $140,
Yeah.
5'8" or something like that.
So this little carriage for a 3-year-old child, 3 or 4, anyways.
Baby carriage.
Baby carriage. And he gets into it. He weasels his body inside the baby carriage. So the mother turns around and sees him in it.
She loses her mind.
Freaks out and just comes over. What are you doing? And he's trying to get out.
I couldn't get out.
And he can't. So he's there looking at us. Can you help me out? And we said, no, we just kind of took off.
What's the funny thing about that is that I really thought that would make the girl like me, which is kind of odd.
Why don't you just stick yourself in a locker?
Anyway, Mark has some more raunchier stories, but we thought we'd start at the segment tame, and we'll bring it back next fall. We'll have him on the line.
Great segment.
Mark lives in Newfoundland
The
now.
part of that story is the baby was still in the carriage.
There he is. He's chimed in. Distorted voice boy. So let's talk about our trip here. First of all, we're doing this pod, not only am I topless, but we're on the balcony of our villa. When I talk about the villa, I'm talking about Turks and Caicos,
right,
my
you're
favorite villa. But here at we're not going to make this a complete infomercial, but we want to describe it to you because there's a lot of golf fans I know that will be listening to this. So there's hotel rooms here. They're all right on the course. And then there's these villas, 4 bedrooms, each has his ensuite. Unlike the Holiday Inn we stayed at the Halifax airport when the 3 of us were in one room together, and that got awkward really in a hurry.
Real awkward. I had to go sleep on the couch.
Yes, you did. And I spooned.
Mm-hmm.
Who was who? Who's the spoon?
I was.
You know the answer.
So we each have our own bathroom, kitchen. It's just absolutely stunning. I've posted some stuff on Instagram. I'll post a couple more pictures on the Rubber Boots account. But we're looking at the sunset right now, looking out at the golf course. We saw a fox today. You named the what
Sandy,
did you?
Sandy the fox.
Oh, and Jamie is Bump. Sorry, has really made some friends here in our few days at Cabot. You had a pet crow. Who followed you around the course?
When I was struggling yesterday in our second 18, I had to get myself in a better mood. So this crow was just flying around. So I just kind of took him on as my own. He was my ball finder.
And you named him?
I don't remember.
Boomba.
Boomba. That's right. Boomba. How do I forget that?
And
He would fall. There'd always be a crow around. And I just yell, "Go Boomba." And then we would all laugh. And then I'd hit another bad shot.
Boomba, find my ball, Boomba.
My ball.
So we've been out here for 3 days. We've played a lot of golf. I was really concerned about my friends because not a lot of them. Mark's done this with me for 3 straight years now, so he's used to playing. We play 18 holes, then 36, then 36. We walk the whole time. There's no carts here, but you can get a cart if you have a medical condition of some sort.
Right.
And
The most robust fella.
the most physically fit, like he's a specimen.
He's a Greek Adonis.
He really is.
Truly
He's
is.
something. Take off your shirt. Like I'm shirtless right now. Can I take it off?
Keep it
I
on.
wanted. I want to describe it to the people. So he was trying to get a cart exemption. He was comparing himself to Casey Martin,
Right.
who had the leg issue and got a cart exemption on tour. And there was a moment at one point where he got tired, I think in round 2 or 3.
That was the first round.
No. Yeah, it was the first round. No, but we were sitting on the couches.
They have these really cool, between
cliffs.
9 holes on Cabot Cliffs, they have these really comfy couches, and you can just go sit there, and you're overlooking the ocean, and it's fantastic. And we were sitting on the couches. We were
After 36. That was after our day was
yeah.
done.
We were having a
drink.
beer. We were a little tired, and he saw there was a guy in a cart, and said his buddy came up and said, "Your buddy, he's got a cart, eh?" And the guy goes, "Yeah." He goes, "Yeah, that's awesome. That's amazing." And the guy said,
No, he asked him how you got
"No,
one.
man."
What
And
do you
he
have to do
said,
to get a
"He
cart?"
said my friend has polio."
Scurvy.
Okay, he didn't say polio, but he said, "Oh yeah, he's got a medical condition that he requires the cart." He's like, "Oh, awesome."
He can't walk 18 holes. Awesome.
There was no limp.
But anyway, we've had a wonderful time here. We should do a couple of segments because this has been a non-traditional podcast, new cast. I think it's gone very well. But we should do a couple of staples because people show up for the staples. Why don't I do a segment of dreams?
So baby, dry your eyes, save all the tears you're crying. Oh, that's what dreams are made of.
So you're going to have to help me because I don't really remember these dreams because I had them both on this trip. In one of the dreams, I was playing golf with my children, and instead of golf balls, there were stakes.
There were stakes.
Yeah, the golf balls were stakes, and it was really hard to hit them far.
If they were rarer, it
Yes.
might have been easier to
Yeah.
hit the ball. You could
I've-
probably flop it a little bit more around the greens. They're better rare than well done. Well done stakes do not flop well.
Nobody flopped well here this weekend. I struggled, particularly in the bunkers. Yeah, so I had that dream. I have a lot of frustrating golf dreams. What else?
The one at the hotel.
Yeah, this probably says a lot about me. You guys may want to. When the night that and Jamie and I slept at the Holiday Inn Halifax Airport Hotel, we got in at 1 a.m. after Free Agent Frenzy, which everybody watched on TSN, Canada's sports leader.
I enjoyed your playoff coverage.
So we got in. We got on a plane basically after that and got in at, I don't know, 1 a.m. or something like that. So we didn't get a lot of sleep. But I in my dream, I dreamt actually something quite realistic. I dreamt that we were in the hotel, the three of us, but in the lobby were dozens of fans of mine.
We had to warn you. We came up to the room to warn you.
You guys in my dream came up and said, "Hey, you can't go down there. All these fans are down there with your book." And they wanted me to sign their book.
Which book was it?
It was probably The Guy on the Left, which is the better of two books. It's available at all fine bookstores. And I probably owe about 12 people listening to this podcast books that I haven't sent them yet.
14.
By the way, I have a lovely Michelob Ultra in my hand today, but we've decided to mix it up.
I got a Sapporo.
If Sapporo's listening, Jay Ride's drinking a Sapporo. Unknown sportscaster from Rival Network is drinking a
Boddington's Pub Ale Delicious.
and Mark Ward, my friend, is drinking a Miller Genuine Draft. So any of the beer companies are
What's in
listening.
the bottom of a Boddington's? What's that thing called?
A widget.
Widget.
There's actual something in the beer?
Shake it. Shake it to the mic.
What does that do?
It's a good question.
Well, it helps keep the pressure of the beer, and it tries to...
Once again, providing a lot of quality information.
Yeah. It's supposed to simulate like a draft, or try and keep as much pressure as it can to simulate a draft.
Is it like a worm at the bottom of tequila? Mm-hmm. No, not at all, really, is there?
Well, the worm is usually in the middle of the tequila bottle.
No, it's at the bottom.
It's in the middle.
It's at the bottom.
Oh.
Anyone?
The only time I had tequila was on my stag, and I don't want to go there.
Mark's stag was unbelievable. One of the greatest stags ever. In Newfoundland, we dressed him up in Daisy Dukes, the really short shorts.
Yeah.
And what else?
Well, it was the cutoff T-shirt and Daisy Dukes, and I know I have really, really strong legs and really massive legs. So me going around in Daisy Duke shorts was fun enough. But at the end of the night, they were completely ripped off to like a little loin just in front of my...
What we decided, we all had more than a few beverages. And we decided it was funny because his shorts were so small and his ass was kind of hanging out the bottom that we should start slapping his ass. And then we asked everybody on George Street to slap his ass. And then people started not only slapping his ass, but beating his ass. And how bad was it? And this was 2 days before your wedding.
This was the 2 days before the wedding, and they were carrying me around upside down, going over to patios so people could just reach over and smack my ass as hard as they can. And for 2 weeks, from the top of my ass to the bottom of my leg, it was black and blue.
Okay, another segment we were going to do. Let's do A-hole or A-OK.
Is it A-hole or is it okay?
So, first of all, everybody at Cabot's been fantastic. The staff here is unbelievable. We have caddies, which is kind of cool because it makes you feel like a pro, like a professional. They dress in the white caddies, just like at Augusta, which Jamie and I have played, but not you two, and you'll never play.
Ever.
Dylan was a great caddy. I had Leland.
Leland, yep.
Leland. Who else was our caddies today?
Bob.
Bob. We had Bob the caddy. I had Gerard one day.
Yeah.
Ryland.
Ryland,
We had a lot of caddies.
He's Dylan's roommate.
Dylan was a very excellent caddy. And Dylan, sometimes we had three caddies. Jamie never took a caddy. Too good for that. Bump produces golf on TSN, so he doesn't think he needs a caddy. So we had all these caddies, and where was I going with that?
No, you were just saying how nice the people
Oh, yeah, the people were.
but,
But, oh, yes. So we're a foursome. We have caddies. We're a little slow. It's fair to say we...
Talking golf or
golf in general. And so we let a few groups go by because you get some twosomes or threesomes out here, some onesomes. So this onesome guy catches up to us.
A onesome?
A guy, single.
You got a few onesomes.
This week.
So the onesome, he comes by and we say, hey, would you like to play through? And he says, yeah, sure. And so, which is a common thing in golf. The thing is, when I've played through groups, and I think I can speak for us all here, you feel very grateful. You'll move on with your round, but you feel
Rushed.
You feel rushed. We didn't. You want to go through so the other guys. You're not delaying the other guys. This face. We'll beep that
How do you
out.
really feel?
So he went through, but then he took about. 20 minutes to play the hole?
Yeah, he probably took 20 minutes to play the hole. He lost his ball off the tee.
Yeah. We'll look forward
about 5 minutes looking for it.
Yeah, with his caddy.
The point where I think it was Dylan went over to try and help, and then also tried to say, "Hey, come on, let's go," because we're waiting there some of us were waiting in the fairway, others were waiting in other areas. But
looked at each putt for about 7 minutes.
remember,
And
we thought he left,
yeah,
right,
yeah,
Mark?
yeah.
You thought he left.
Because he's behind the shrubs area, and he wasn't.
And he wasn't. He came back out with his putter.
yeah. So
Three jacked.
A-hole or A-OK, a group lets you play through on the golf course, and then you take your sweet-ass time. I think this is probably going to be unanimous. This isn't the most controversial edition of A-hole or A-OK. But we did let him go through. Does he have the right to play at his own pace, or does he need to hurry?
Look,
Bump, you go first.
I'm going to say A-hole first.
Yes.
However, I understand his dilemma because when I've played through, you feel rushed and you want to go quick because they're waiting for you as well, and then you can go and move on at your own pace. You can get back to your own pace, but that's a complete A-hole move. He looked for his ball way too long. We had another couple that we let through, an older couple. Wonderful people who actually, you saw, we all watched them. They were playing quickly.
Yes.
So A-hole all the way.
Concur?
What made it awkward was when you recognized it was Darren Drager. It was really uncomfortable.
Yeah, I think it's unanimous on the A-hole, right?
Yeah, I gotta agree. If he was a single early morning, if he was two guys and they're playing a match, but it was obviously he was out for a nice stroll and
Yeah. This is a bonus edition of the podcast. We don't want to go too long here. We want to have one more game we're going to play here because we realized on the 3-hour drive from Halifax to Cabot, wonderful drive, that our guest from the network that we can't name is unbelievable at naming one-hit wonders. Mark Ward is fantastic at this too, and Bump is also excellent at it. I'm not very good, but this guy is like an idiot savant, whereas before we didn't know about the savant.
That's
part.
right. He's just an idiot.
Do you have any? Can you sing? We have your computer.
I can kind of.
Why don't you just sing it?
Here, let me try and load one up here.
All right. We're going to call this segment One Hit Wonders.
In the 80s, though.
80s.
This is 80s one-hit wonders.
80s One Hit Wonders. What's the 80s One Hit Wonder? What's it going to be?
Electric Avenue, Eddie Grant.
Wow.
Whoa, that was just too easy. You got another one?
Yeah. I'll get
Are you not? You're not looking, right? You're not cheating.
Oh, this is a good one if it loads.
Why don't you just sing it? Just sing it.
I don't know the song.
Okay, I'm gonna sing them
You
for
know
you. The computer's not working, so I'm gonna sing it. It may not be the first. I heard you on the wireless back in
The
'52.
Buggles. Video killed the radio star.
Come
Oh,
on!
nice.
Give me
Okay.
another one.
Let's go
I'm
up.
just stealing your thunder here now, aren't I?
That was impressive.
How about that one? You can do that one.
St. Almost Fire. John Parr.
Man in Motion, very good.
John Parr.
It says
Yeah.
Jessamina.
That might be a cover.
Might be the person who uploaded it.
Do you think this?
Never guessed that.
Oh, here you
How
go.
about this one?
Which one? Oh, yeah.
Come on, will this
Come on,
play?
work.
This is an absolute failure.
Anyways, how about
It's okay. Don't worry about this.
Hey,
Tony Basil.
Basil. So incorrect.
Okay, sing one more for him. Oh wait. What?
Aha, take on me.
That guy's good.
Bonus question: what was the state-of-the-art video technology they used to make their video?
Cartooning.
No.
Oh, jeez.
What's it called?
Well, they're guessing. Are they not allowed to guess?
Are these guys walking the course the night
think they
before
are.
they play it? That's next level preparation. They have their cardigans
It
on and
was
stuff.
xerography. Is what it was called.
Wow, xerography.
I learned that in college.
Where'd you go again, Mump?
I went to Conestoga College, and that was in my history of rock and roll.
All right.
Of course.
Anyway, I want to thank Blank from joining us on the podcast. He was very reluctant, but I told him he had to be on because he's a buddy of ours. And if you're at the Cabot Links, you have to come on the Cabot Links podcast, right?
That's right.
And he's an incredible whistler. Did you notice that?
Yeah, he does it.
Like, I mean, not only did I see him walking around shirtless, but he's an incredible whistler.
Yeah.
He really is.
Yeah, he's
That was the worst whistle you've done all week. It's unbelievable. You're in the shower, you're whistling. You're walking around the house, you're whistling. You can't even do it for the pod.
If the audio's bad on this pod, I apologize. My microphone broke out here. When I'm not with Stoff in studio, everything goes to hell. I'll start to get a new microphone.
Stoff does save it, though. He saves the day like always.
He always does. So that's officially it for our season. This was just a bonus episode for you. We really thank Andrew and everybody at Cabot Links for having us out here. These villas are incredible. The golf courses are incredible.
The view is unbelievable.
The other cool thing they're doing, it's a real golf destination now, but they want to turn it into a family destination or a place you can bring if your wife or if you're a girl golfer and your husband doesn't golf to come here. They have boat excursions where you can fish for 150-pound tunas and tennis courts. They're building a spa, everything. So it's really one of the most special places in Canada.
We should go around the horn. What your favorite hole was?
Oh, that's a great question. I would say 11 Cliffs, which we played from the back today, was fantastic.
I like 2 cliffs from the green tees. That is so cool.
Oh, wait a second. That's what I was talking
that
about.
what you were talking
Yeah,
about?
I
Okay,
meant
I'll do a
two.
different one then.
I meant two.
Mark, you go.
That's an easy, stupid answer, but 16, the par 3, only because I was,
Right on the cliff.
yeah, and had 2 good shots at birdie, but I 3-putt them both.
Yeah. Well, in the round where I shot 78, let's see, which hole did I like the most on that round I shot 78? Let me think. There was so many holes. There's the one I birdied, and the one I just missed the eagle, and then the other one I birdied. It's so
Puff,
difficult
is that
to
the one that he
choose.
kept score?
That's Bump.
Yeah.
Puff is not here. That's Bump. Jesus, it's your first time
Who am I replacing, Puff or Bump?
Puff.
you're replacing Bump. Your favorite?
11 Links I really liked. I just made that up. I don't remember, actually.
long par
I think
5.
I only took a double there.
Isn't it along the water?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
The
The whole course is beautiful.
The best part of coming with us is that he likes to gamble on the golf course, friendly gambling, and he loses all the time.
All the time.
And he'll double down and double down.
Keep going.
And he just keeps going. And in the end, he just bought us all dinner.
And he paid for my flight back to Newfoundland.
He has purchased for me a down payment on one of the new cottages they're building at Cabot.
we're back next year.
Yeah, we're back next year living. Thank you for joining us, a reluctant guest. Thank you for joining us, Mark Ward.
Thanks, Jamie.
And Bump, you're always welcome on the pod.
I love being on, so thank you.
Screw Puffy.
Thanks for this trip.
Puffy, you're dead to us. You have 2 months
Yep,
to repair the relationship that is broken.
Ironically, Wally Pipp's nickname was also Puffy.
It's Bumba. Your crow. Bumba! Bumba! Have a great summer, everybody. Bumba!
Hey, how are ya? I got a question that I really wanna ask ya. Wait, don't hang up. I need to know, so I'm gonna try and push my luck. Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? Are they purple, yellow, green, blue, black, or white? Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? And do you like the dunk tank at the fair? I know it's a little strange, my obsession with your choice of footwear in the rain. I know that you're on TV, but I need you to put your boots up on the desk for me. Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? Are they purple, yellow, green, blue, black, or white? Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? And do you like the dunk tank at the fair? This is the part they call the bridge, a bridge has water under it. With rubber boots you can wade in the water. Just don't fall in. Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? Are they purple, yellow, green, blue, black, or white? Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? And do you like a dunk tank at the fair? Do you like the dunk tank at the fair? The dunk tank at the fair. Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight? No, seriously. Are you wearing your rubber boots? Don't hang up, please. Somebody. Hey? Anyone?